It's my first weekend in LA and I got humbled by a man last night. What
Fellas, you ever seen someone get smacked by reality the moment they thought they leveled up? First weekend living in LA. That's exactly what happened to her. Fresh hair, fresh nails, walking like the city owed her something. And then boom, she got humbled by a man who wasn't buying the act. And let's be real, it was long overdue. Because the problem isn't the city. The problem is too many women thinking they can bring the same entitled energy into new spaces and expect different results. But LA don't play that, and neither do real men. Let's talk about it.
it's my first weekend in LA and I got humbled by a man last night. What the fuck? Guys, I cannot get over last night still. So last night I already really wasn't doing well. My parents actually came up because I haven't been doing the best. And we went to dinner just because I'm not well with change. I know I'm a little baby. Anyways, so my roommate, she got invited to go out to the bars last night by a hinge man. And mind you, like my parents were over, we went to dinner, we're back at my apartment. I'm like literally having a mentee bee and I'm like, I don't do well with change. I like feel like I just don't have like a core group of friends here. So it's like been hard. But anyways, so I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's get into pump up Shelby mode and we're gonna have fun. So I'm rallying, I'm doing the thing. We go to the bar, walk in, and Jackie, my roommate, is like, "Hey, we're here for a guy for me. Which one of these fellas do you are you eyeballing?" And I'm like, "That man." And I was like, "The guy with the black hat." I was like, "Sex god." So then she's like, "Okay, I got you, girl. I'm gonna be the wing girl." This is where things go south. So Jackie literally rolls up to this man and is like, "Have you met Shelby? Like from How I Met Your Mother? Like, have you met Ted?" Basically that whole thing. Already off the bat, weird vibes. He's like, "What?" Then Jackie's like, hee hee hee, and then like runs away. And then he's like, "I didn't really hear what she said." And I'm like, "Look, I'll be honest with you. She asked me who was the cutest guy at the bar, and I said you." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Want to go into the room next door and sit at a table and talk?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I go to said table next door. Beep, 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 beep. He's asking me a couple questions, and then he just looks at me in the face and says, "Look, I feel like I've been forced into this, and I don't want to be here with you at all right now. So I'm just going to go back with my friends." And then he just got up and left me at the table by myself. And yeah, your girl got humbled real fucking fast. And God, I felt so embarrassed. One, because I mean, he didn't have to fucking say it like that. Two, going back to I'm a sensitive little baby. So then I called an Uber and I went home and I got McDonald's. So that was my night. But happy President's Day. Let's have a good one.
She just moved to LA, first weekend out, thinking the city was going to roll out the red carpet for her. And boom, she got humbled by a man. And it needed to happen, because this is what happens when modern women walk into new cities with inflated egos, unrealistic expectations. And entitlement turned up to 100. She probably thought she was going to step into club, bat her lashes, and have men buy her drinks, offering rides in luxury cars, and chasing her like she's some kind of celebrity. But instead, she ran into a man who wasn't impressed. And he reminded her real quick that LA doesn't care about your attitude, your followers, or your baddie energy. This is what happens when women walk around thinking beauty equals value. She thought moving to LA meant she leveled up. But what she forgot is that in LA, every other woman thinks the same way. You're not special just because you showed up. You're not high value just because you got a few likes back home. And when you're standing in a city where beauty is everywhere, the moment your attitude shows, the moment your energy shifts from feminine to entitled, men are going to shut it down. And that's exactly what happened. She got reminded that men out here are no longer simping for looks with bad behavior. Women like her think moving to a big city means more options, more attention, more power. But they never prepare for the fact that the men in those cities have standards too. Real men are watching how you move, how you speak, how you carry yourself. If you walk into a room thinking you're above everybody, you're going to find yourself sitting alone. She thought LA was going to be her playground. But what she found was reality, and reality doesn't reward arrogance. Women today have been told they're the prize, no matter what they bring to the table. So they expect to be pursued, praised, and pampered just for existing. But that mindset doesn't work anymore. especially not with men who have leveled up. Men who know their value aren't handing out validation for free. They're not chasing women who think they're owed something just because they walked into the city. So when she finally met a man who wasn't having it, who didn't fall for the act, it shocked her, it humbled her, it exposed her. And that's the moment she needed. Because sometimes it takes one man refusing to play the game to show a woman that her script doesn't work anymore, that she can't just coast on looks and attitude, that real men want more than surface. And the problem is, a lot of these women never had to develop anything deeper. They've been praised for being pretty, told they're 10 out of 10 by men with no standards, and now they think that's enough. But it's not. Not in L.A., not with grown men, not anymore. So to all the women thinking of moving to big cities, expecting to be treated like queens just for showing up, be ready. Because when the smoke clears and the filters fade, what's left is your character. And if that's not right, best believe someone out there is going to humble you too, just like he did her.
So why do men no longer come up to women? I asked this in a TikTok last week, and it got so many comments, especially from men. And I just want to preface this with, this was no shade to men, this post was no shade to men, and neither is this one. I was just genuinely curious and asking. I love men, I think they're awesome, and I think that they're a little confused right now. But most of their responses said something like, we were told not to go up to you guys, and we were told that you want to be left alone, and you just want your own space, and you don't want us approaching you. Which for some women, that can absolutely be true, but I love meeting people in person, and I just think that it takes a confident person to go up to someone when you see them in person, and I think it's a really cool way to meet people rather than meeting people online. Men were also saying things like they were called creeps and weirdos, and they don't want to be called that. It's not a pleasant experience. But I will say that it has to do with how you approach a woman. Like, for example, myself and my friends have had men come up to us with a really, really intense energy, like a very in-your-face energy, and they're really nervous and they're kind of scattered and they're very pushy or weird, and their energy is just off. And one of the most attractive things to a woman is emotional intelligence, and that shows within like the first few seconds of meeting someone when they introduce themselves to you. So if you're gonna go up to a woman, just like take a calm, deep breath. If you see a woman working on her laptop or something at a cafe, you can go up to her and be like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I thought you were really beautiful and you seem interesting. I would love to get to know you more if you're interested, and then slipping her your number on a napkin or something, you know? Like just coming up to women with a calm energy and not giving off this like needy energy or this like pushy energy. I think that is what women don't like. I think it's really sweet and cute to be approached in person, and I know that there's a lot of women like me. There's probably some women out there who don't want to be approached, and that's fine, and it's hard to tell who's who. But I think you can tell when you go up to a girl kind of right away if she'd be interested or not based on her body language, and just be calm and natural and don't overthink it. You know, I know that's easier said than done. I've only gone up to a man once in my whole life, but I think that might help. I don't know, I think I'm just someone who's very interested in people interacting with each other and having experiences and building community. And I think the world is growing more and more introverted and people are on their phones more, and I just think it's beautiful to meet people out and in person, and I just don't want to lose that as a humanity.
She answered her own question that she gives zero slack to any guy coming up to her. He has to hit a home run right off the bat, or she's not interested. Only attractive men are allowed to approach women. Sorry, but it's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with the approach, nothing to do with confidence. You will accept anyone's energy and emotional intelligence if they're attractive. For men reading this absolutely know this is true. So she admitted in the beginning some women don't want to be approached, and then she said later in the video that she won't be approached. Then she proceeded to explain the most intricate process of how she won't be approached. Following this, she hit us with the icing on the cake when she said, don't overthink it, after she just yapped about all the different steps that go into approaching her. Hypocrisy at its finest. Stay safe, fellas. We used to singles meet up in L.A. at my bar. The first night was 250 women to about 150 guys. The issue is the 250 women only wanted to chat with 10% of men, super good looking, 6 feet and up, and wouldn't budge when I brought other men to groups to meet them the next week, 300 girls to 50 guys, and the next 300 to 25 guys. So we to meet up because men didn't want to sign up anymore, and they wonder why. Also, we have women who are 5 to 7 range asking for 8 to 10 range men. That's the unfortunate reality today, that the modern woman will demand men who are 6 feet or taller, and they don't look for any other honorable traits. I don't know the exact stat, but it's something like 80% of women only go after 20% of men. The rest 80% of men are then too scared of rejection, knowing the standards and possibility she's already taken. I think it's maybe 30% how you approach a woman, and 70% whether or not she's attracted to you. If she's attracted to you, you can basically get away with saying a lot more. I think that's where the disconnect is. Women say they don't want men approaching them. I think what they really mean is they don't want men who they aren't attracted to approach them. A lot of these women are just low-key upset that they aren't getting the validation they feel from being approached anymore. At least that's how these videos always come across. Men are not confused at all. We know when we approach a woman, there's a high chance we're going to have a negative experience. No, human wants to be shamed. I'm not saying it's all women's fault, because there are guys who are doing it wrong, but for normal guys who get nervous and consider women's feelings, the risk just isn't worth it.
Y'all, tell me why this dude told me to meet him at Osaka's at 6, and so like 6:10, I'm like, I'm on my way, but he never texts back, and I get here, he's nowhere to be found. It's 6:50.
You told the man to be there at 6 o'clock. He was there at 6 o'clock. You left your house at 6:10. You didn't get there till 6:50. You're 40 minutes late. He's not there because you're 40 minutes late. You want a man to be there, right? You want a man to be on time, a man to take you seriously. Shorty, if you're not taking him seriously, he's not going to be there. You think because you are beautiful and you got nice hair and all this type of, you think that that's going to keep, like, shorty, be on time. Good looks is not going to sit here and help you keep it, man, respectfully. Respectfully.
You know, respectfully, there's no comment, man. Women like this, bro, if a woman ever says that she's late, even if like 6:10, I'm on my way and you're not there on time, especially chances are buddy made reservations. Nah. And women are used to getting away with stuff like this, or they'll push the time back and all this stuff like that. All I do, man, and it's not being passive aggressive, you just don't respond. Women do stuff like this all the time, bro. Women will flake on you. And I've done videos where I had 2 women flake on me in the same day, but I had a backup plan. You always got to have a backup plan. You just cool being by yourself. That's just how it is, fellas. Don't trip off of it. But it is stuff like this that frustrates you, that wastes your time. So you got the guys who got different methods of call or text to make sure she'll be there, or don't text and you just show up. But if a woman, and I did a video, if somebody doesn't respect your time, they are disrespecting you, and they have no problem disrespecting you guys. And that's just what it is. Women have no problem flaking on men. Women are very fickle. I've done so many videos, and I'll link them in here for you guys to watch that need help with this. And it happens. It happens to me. And it's not an age limit where it stops. It's just a point where you value your time and what you can and can't take women seriously. But let's get on to the next video. Let's go.
She showed up 50 minutes late to a date and instantly got humbled. The man didn't wait. He didn't argue. He didn't send a text asking where she was. He simply got up, paid his bill, and left before she even arrived. And now she's confused. She can't believe he left. She doesn't understand why he didn't just sit there like a puppy waiting for her to finally show up. And that right there tells you everything you need to know about how far removed some modern women are from reality. This isn't about traffic. This isn't about bad timing. This is about a mindset that says he'll wait because I'm worth it, even when she's the one who's 50 minutes late. In 50 minutes, he could have waited 10, ordered food, enjoyed his meal, had dessert, paid the bill, and walked out with peace. And that's exactly what he did. Because men are finally starting to value their time. Men are done entertaining women who treat their effort like it's disposable. You don't show up nearly an hour late to a date with no warning, no apology, and no urgency, and still expect a man to be sitting there when you arrive. That's delusion. And she got a dose of reality when she walked in and saw that empty seat. But the real issue here is her reaction. She was genuinely shocked that he had the audacity to leave, like his time meant nothing, like he was supposed to wait there just because she might show up eventually. And this is the problem. Too many women have been conditioned to believe that men should always be available, always patient, always forgiving, even when they're being blatantly disrespected. She didn't respect his time. She didn't respect the plan. She thought her presence alone was enough. And when he showed her that it wasn't, she folded. It's about a pattern. A pattern of women who think men should tolerate whatever they do and still be grateful just to be in their presence. Late to the date. Late to accountability. Late to realizing that a man's peace is not up for negotiation anymore. These women want effort from men they won't even give common courtesy to. They want consistency from men they treat like backups. And when those men finally say, "I'm done," suddenly the victim mask comes out. Why'd he leave? He didn't even wait? Yes, because he values himself. Something she clearly didn't. She would never tolerate that kind of disrespect from a man. If he showed up 50 minutes late, she'd call her friends, post it on TikTok, and tell the world how trash men are. But when the roles are reversed, and she's the one being late, now it's, "Why did he leave me?" This is why men are walking away. Not because we don't want love, not because we're bitter, but because we're done begging for basic respect. Showing up on time is the bare minimum. And if you can't even do that, don't expect a man to sit there waiting like a doormat.
Yesterday, I heard a woman say that she discarded a guy she went on a date with because he mentioned that he liked football and she wasn't into it. That there was no way she could be with him because she just couldn't sit through a football match, nor live or on TV. She later said that she was desperately looking for a partner, but she felt that there was nothing she needed to change in order to be married. And I was thinking to myself, how entitled have women become to think that a man has to accept every single one of her traits, likes, dislikes, and demands, and immediately assume that there will be no required effort from us whatsoever. And honestly, it's sad that we walk into relationships and marriages like this and then end up blaming the guy for the breakup because he simply didn't meet our needs. I'm telling you, y'all better check yourselves, because men are checking out faster than you're realizing. If you think I'm exaggerating, hit the comment section. I'm not playing with you. Girl, eat the popcorn, sit quietly, and enjoy the match. Grow up.
Men are fed up, not tired. Fed up, we're done bending over backwards for women who claim they want love, claim they want a partner, claim they're desperate for something real. But the moment they're faced with a good man, they discard him over nonsense. Like this woman right here. She went on a date with a guy, and the only red flag she saw was, he liked football. That's it. That was her deal breaker. He liked the sport, and because she wasn't into it, she convinced herself she couldn't possibly sit through a match. Not live, not on TV, and therefore he wasn't the one. Are you kidding me? This is where we are now. Modern women are out here throwing away solid men over hobbies, over harmless interests, over things that don't even affect them. And then in the same breath, they turn around and cry about being lonely, about how they can't find a man, about how the dating pool is trash. No, the pool isn't the problem. The problem is the mindset, the entitlement, the belief that a man has to fit into their world perfectly, while they don't need to change a single thing. She literally said she's desperately looking for a husband, but there's absolutely nothing she needs to improve about herself, nothing to reflect on, no habits to adjust, no growth needed. And that's exactly why she's still single. Because this generation of women has been told they're perfect as they are, no accountability required. They've been fed the lie that men should adapt to them completely, while they offer bare minimum in return. They want high-value men, but bring zero compromise. They think being difficult is a personality trait. She didn't even give the man a chance. She didn't ask questions, didn't show curiosity, didn't consider his passions. The moment he said football, she was mentally checked out, like a child who hears a word they don't like, and throws the whole toy away. And men are supposed to accept that? We're supposed to keep showing up, paying for dates, giving our time, our energy, our conversation, only to be disqualified over something as petty as liking a sport? That's where the bar is now. But let the roles be reversed. Let a man say he couldn't date a woman who watches reality TV or can't name a basketball team, and suddenly he's shallow. Suddenly he's judgmental. Suddenly he's not giving women a chance. But when women dismiss men over football, it's cute. It's standards. It's preference. It's knowing what she wants. No, it's immaturity. It's entitlement. And men are tired. Because this isn't about football. It's about effort. It's about attitude. It's about a woman who wants a man, but refuses to meet him halfway on anything. She doesn't want a partner. She wants a puppet. She wants a man who's into only what she likes, who'll change his interests to make her feel more comfortable, who'll sacrifice his peace for her convenience. And that's why these women keep losing. Not because there aren't good men, but because they throw away the ones who are simply human, who have their own tastes, their own lives, their own peace. Stop shrinking yourself just to make a woman who doesn't value you feel more in control. The right one won't care if you like football. She'll sit beside you, even if she doesn't get it, because she respects you, because she wants to know you, because partnership means sharing space, not dominating it. And as for women like her, let them keep discarding men over football, because all they're really doing is making room for the ones who see value beyond surface.
Want to deal with women anymore. They're just going to give up. My question is, what don't you want to deal with? Women who have their own interests and goals, women who want to work and be fulfilled, women who want to choose whether or not to become a mother, women who have thoughts and opinions about big issues and little issues. And then when he said something that women are going to have to deal with is the fact that men won't want them. And at the end, when he says this is a real issue that women are going to have to deal with as their options dwindle. Our options for men who want to keep us in traditional roles, hard pass.
So all of those things that you just named, man isn't typically bothered by any of those things. Yes, there are still men who are looking for a more traditional woman who, yes, chooses to be in those responsibilities of cooking and cleaning and overall taking care of the house and the kids. But he wants a woman that's happy and willing to do those things. But I feel like a lot of men don't actually want a woman like that. He wants a woman that has all the qualities you just named. But I mean, if she has a career, yeah, he expects her to contribute to the bills. He's not intimidated by her accomplishments or her moving up in her career. Does he expect constant nagging, constantly being emasculated for no reason because he might fall a little short or behind her? No. Unfortunately, a lot of women think men just don't want an independent woman, which couldn't be further from the truth. He just wants a woman that's great to be around and has a wonderful personality and is willing to contribute in the relationship. Not a woman that will sit back, work, but not contribute to bills, refuse to cook and clean, and he just has to somehow pick up all the work.
Men today are waking up. We want a modern woman, yes, but not one who expects us to carry all the traditional burdens whenever it suits her. We're done with the double standards. If she wants equality, then let it be equal across the board, not just when it benefits her. We're not signing up to be emotional punching bags or unpaid providers while she reaps all the rewards. If she can't bring peace into my life, she has no place in it. Simple. And let's address the real issue here. The lack of empathy, the lack of accountability, always flipping the blame, always a victim, never the one at fault. This mindset is way too common among modern women. Manipulation is not a love language, and emotional games don't build relationships. They destroy them. A man doesn't want to come home to a competitor. He wants to come home to a partner. We're not looking for someone to battle with. We're looking for someone to build with. Loyalty isn't just about staying. It's about standing by through thick and thin. If a woman isn't loyal to her husband and doesn't support her own close friends, then who exactly is she loyal to? And if she doesn't want children with a man she claims to love, then what's the point of the relationship? Just vibes? Just photos for social media? That's not a family. That's a roommate situation with extra entitlement. And truthfully, men are tired being told they have to deal with toxicity and negativity just because we have preferences. We get labeled controlling, insecure, or weak just for having standards. But look at what's expected of us. We're supposed to be the perfect specimen. Emotionally intelligent, financially secure, physically fit, good in bed, good with kids, available 24/7, all while receiving criticism and chaos from someone who refuses to work on herself. That's not a relationship. That's emotional slavery with lipstick. A man wants peace. A man needs peace. If you can't compete with man's peace, if your presence brings more stress than calm, then your spot in his life is gone. Loyalty, accountability, emotional maturity, and true support, these are not nice-to-haves. These are non-negotiables. The bar isn't too high. The standards just finally got realistic. And if you can't meet them, you're not the victim. You're just not the one. What doesn't she get? If men don't want you and you can't secure a partner, then your perceived choices that you mentioned, and I do mean every, it's the demanding a traditional man while refusing to be a traditional woman. Either both need to be traditional, or neither, or it won't work. Exactly. Men want a woman that will respect and acknowledge them as a man. And if they can't find her here, they'll go overseas to find her. Men aren't easily intimidated by any woman. But hetero men don't date other men or masculine women. Loyalty, accountability, real partnership, that's what we value. And if you can't bring that to the table, don't be surprised when you find yourself eating alone. This is clarity. And the sooner we stop sugarcoating the truth, the faster we all get to real, lasting relationships. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more eye-catching videos. Have a wonderful day, fellas. Peace.